Hello, forensics. Today we're going to be going over the case of Stella Nickel, who was a grandmother of two who lived around Seattle. In 1986, there were 5 deaths in Seattle and the suburbs of Seattle that involved cyanide poisoning of Excedrin capsules, because there were several of those little things that had been stolen and then poisoned and then put back in stores. It's not the only time this has happened. It started with the death of Sue Snow, who was a 40-year-old bank manager in the Seattle suburb of Auburn, and as the deaths kept growing and growing and eventually getting to like 5, the public became restless. And 6 days after Sue Snow's death, police got lucky when they got a call from Stella Nickel on June 17th, 1986.
Stella reported that her husband Bruce had died after taking extra-strength Excedrin and wondered if there was any connection between the deaths. Upon investigation, he had indeed been poisoned with cyanide, and there were 2 contaminated containers of Excedrin found inside Nickel's home. However, police started to find some strange coincidences. Police discovered that if Bruce's death had been ruled an accident, Stella would have been paid $176,000, equivalent to almost $500,000 today. Stella was broke and would have greatly benefited from the money. The cyanide contained algicide pellets, and Stella had recently bought a home at her local pet store, and with about 5 total contaminated containers found. 2 were in Nickel's home. This defied everything known of law probability. Yup.
As detectives investigated Stella further, they found out about her background of convictions. Between the years of 1968 and 1971, Stella was convicted of check fraud, forgery, and child abuse. After 1971, she steered away from crime but could not steer away from debt. The bank was close to foreclosing her home, and she came very close to bankruptcy. As said before by Nicole, she found out how much she was insured for, about $176,000. The doctor who signed Bruce's death certificate reported emphysema as the cause of death. Stella called the doctor multiple times to see if he made a mistake. If he had made a mistake and identified it as cyanide due to product tampering, she would have gotten the full $176,000. When brought into question multiple times, her stories did not match up. Eventually, Stella's daughter, Cindy Hamilton, confessed to police that she had been researching everything about cyanide poisoning. Police then found her fingerprints on a book about poisoning and eventually convicted her for 5 charges of murder and product tampering. Thank you.
Thank you for learning about Stella Nickel and Rashad.